conversation. Hey, yo, let's chop it up, man. Hey, yo, let's have a conversation. Hey, yo, may I interject? It's about time for communal reconnect. Power of the we in some type of context. Working on the us so we can hit up what's next. It's that grown brother, grown sister type of flex. More like soul check, not just collecting checks. Fact, not feelings is what we got on deck. Take the high road, so this here is high tech. Getting to the real, everything that we hitting on. Pull up or sit down, tell me what you sipping on. Reclaiming kinghood, that is what we getting on. Real headlines is what we spitting on. So, hey now, yo, let's have a conversation. Maybe take a sec to talk on what we facing. Only way to change it.
Black Manosphere was designed to encourage Black men to become the best versions of themselves, and the Black Manosphere is very conservative-leaning Black men. One of the things that we're going to do on my stream is we're actually going to talk about what conservatism actually is, because a lot of brothers latch on to conservatism. But let me tell y'all something: Black conservatism and white conservatism, they're not the same. But a lot of brothers in the Black Manosphere will align themselves with white conservatives when white conservatism doesn't necessarily represent the interest of you. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about politics a little bit, because this is ridiculous. Okay, so from my understanding, this group was designed to encourage Black men to become the best versions of themselves. Strict accountability seems to have been one of the more principal values. If that's the case, if strict accountability was one of the more principal values of the Black Manosphere, then how in the hell did you allow one 25-year-old white woman start a war within Black men? And start that war on Black YouTube. For those of you who are not familiar with the issue, because there's a few people watching that might not be that familiar with the issue, listen, I'll do my best to my ability to recap it a little bit, okay? And I'm not going to go into a whole long thing about it. Those of you at the beginning saw some of the clips at the beginning of what the confrontation was. Okay, I'm talking. All right, so Hannah, the content creator of the YouTube channel called Just Pearly Things, which has over today just close to 1.5 million subscribers, talks about relationships focusing on the modern woman. So what is the modern woman? Well, basically, a modern woman who possesses very to little, no traditional values, sees marriage and relationships as partnerships, and has the attitude that men need to come in and get on her page and serve her. That's kind of a short version of it, but I'm not going to get down into the weeds of that. Hannah's platform mainly focuses on Black relationship. Yeah, she has some non-Blacks on their show, but she primarily has Black women on her platform addressing these issues and the outcomes of being a modern woman, and then these women having the expectation that a man come in and take them seriously. Many Black men in the manosphere have gravitated toward the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel because Hannah presents herself as a friendly, feminine, and submissive woman who combats the idea of the modern woman. Just Pearly Things has a large following of men that come out of the Black Manosphere. I was on the Lapeef Network a few days ago discussing this with one of them, and one of the men on the panel stated that the reason why so many Black people, the reason why so many Black men support Hannah is because she earned her Black card. Because she earned her Black card. And how did she earn her Black card? When she put a guest on the Blue Peep Network, B. Taylor, a black woman, B. Taylor in her place. Let me see. I'm gonna play a few seconds of like Pearl and B. Taylor so you guys kind of know who they are and who I'm talking about. Here you go.
His car, that, you know, a bunch of different other stuff. So just, you know, absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna go to Pearl next on that one. Women should date multiple men at times to explore their options.
That's not his car. Has that happened to you?
Now, is that you being funny? Or was that a genuine
No, I
question?
was just asking. I've just never heard of that. No, I was just asking. I've never heard of like he like picks you up in a car.
Okay.
That's not.
Nah,
his.
I mean, you can answer the question. I wasn't referring to you.
I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just asking.
Hey, this
No.
tonight, you can be rude as you want to be.
Oh my gosh. So wait, what was the question? No, I mean, I just feel like men look for loyalty. So if you're like dating a bunch of guys at the same time, like I think guys kind of want to be like they kind of like it when your attention is focused on them. So I don't know. I don't think it's that good to like date multiple people at the same time, but like if a guy's not giving you attention to the point that it's like plan A attention, you know, I think you should probably just find a different guy to date.
Okay.
Round one, fight.
It is smart to keep your legs closed. And in today's dating world in 2022 with these type of men, they may not be like you. They may not be like you. So therefore, these men in 2022, you need to expand your options, or you're going to be walking around heartbroken, not the men.
It's
If
the,
you are
it's the
trying
men,
to talk
it's
to
not,
a dude that
it's
is winning,
not,
go ahead, Pearl.
it's not the men in 2022. It's the men you pick. 1 out of 3 men are either virgins or
I
have
don't pick
sex
them;
in the
they come
past
to me,
year.
and there's
It doesn't. Then
attraction.
you are
You
what
always wanna hit people
you.
with that
Hey, let me
whole-
finish. Let me finish. You gotta let me
Well, you
finish.
jumped in between a conversation.
Come on, y'all ladies,
Okay,
one at a time. One at a time.
okay. One
I
in
told her that
3
she
men.
can
go.
1 in
Yeah,
3
Go
men.
ahead.
1 in 3 men. 1 in 3 men are either virgins or they haven't had sex in the past year. So there's a plethora of men that will be faithful to you and won't play these games. They're just not the men you want.
Women aren't going to be attracted.
Okay, I just showed that to show you a little bit of the interaction between Pearl and B. Taylor, and you get a little bit of a sense of her personality versus B. Taylor's personality. So, you know, when the fellow on the panel told me that Pearl earned her black card because she put B. Taylor in her place, look, I told this brother straight up. I told him, you and men like you are weak as hell for expecting a white woman to come in and do your job. I told him, if you think your black woman for some reason or another is out of line for any reason, why do you have the expectation or get downright giddy that a white woman come in and do and check and quote unquote check her? It's offensive that this man will sit up there and get excited and give somebody their black card because some white woman came in and checked one of your sisters that you don't agree with. You need the white girl to come in and protect you? I thought as a man, I thought we do the protecting. I have been struggling with this the last week and a half. Am I witnessing? Are the men of the manosphere? Are they just confirming what a lot of black women think about black men? Oh my God. I have a very special guest today that I'm going to bring up in just a second. Just Pearly Things YouTube channel brought up a known out loud proud white supremacist During her one-on-one interview with this man, she stated that slavery was an exaggeration. That was not the only thing she did. She called black men that worked for her. She called them my Africans. Oh my God, my goodness. And she and this dude sat there and giggled it up and laughed it up. Needless to say, those exchanges she had with this white supremacist set off a firestorm for her and her channel. Black people in the space went absolutely berserk and off the rails. Now, remember O'Shea Duke Jackson talked about, well, no, I didn't get to this point in the clip, but he talked about that there are several founding members of this thing called the Black Manosphere. Well, the Black Manosphere kind of exploded into two camps. The defending of Hannah, she's not a racist crowd, and the Hannah needs to be held accountable crowd. It has gotten so bad that these two groups of men have decided to make 3 and 4 hour long live streams, calling each other out, asking each other to pull up on each other's stream. You got one streamer, and I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. Yes, I'm going to drop names. You got one streamer, Jason Black, the business channel, shout out to him, setting a call out and smoke stream 2 days ahead of time for a particular streamer to pull up on his live and defend defend why Hannah's not a racist. And then that particular streamer, instead of answering Jason's challenge, decided to go and set up his own live stream during that exact same time, and then started saying, if anybody want to pull up over here and talk to me, y'all come over here. It just mind-boggling. All of these men have large platforms, large followers, and have a large impact. And these black men have become the face of defending Hannah and the face of the modern black man cat fight over just pearly things. The black men in the middle of this madness, Obsidian, O'Shea, Jason Black, Anton Daniels, MTR, Philip Scott, Dennis Sperling, the lead attorney here. All of these men have very large platforms. We're talking with a combined reach over 1 million people between these men. Now, let me be perfectly clear, because I know some people might run back to some guys or whatever. Let me be perfectly clear. Each of these men are involved with this issue to a varying degree. Some have very direct involvement, like Jason Black, who exposed it. O'Shea Duke Jackson, who led the I'm out on Just Pearly Things. And also MTR, who led the I'm out, not doing no business with you again. And some who have not so direct opinions about, that are not so direct or not so close, but also had an opinion. Most of these men have decided to make this a referendum on if Just Pearly Things is a racist or not. This has nothing to do with her being racist. This is all about the reaction of black men in this space and the men who support those larger platforms and their support of Hannah. I hope that wasn't confusing. Today's conversation is not about if Hannah is a racist or not. The conversation is mostly about the reaction of the black men, the infighting of the black men, and how this looks to our women. Here's my bottom line opinion. This was an epic failure for black men in this space on Black YouTube. Shout out to My Unsolicited Opinions podcast. Those ladies did a live last week, and I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if it was sadness or disappointment that those ladies had watching these men with these larger platforms fight over this woman, and how tens of thousands of black men came to the defense of something that was indefensible. And then they try to put a spin on it. They tried to put a spin on it. It was an attempt to try to minimize this down. They wanted to provide the ultimate excuse. The Black Manosphere provided the ultimate excuse for our women to have something to hang their hats on not coming to cooperation with the regular old brother that wants a long-term permanent connection with the Black woman. The sentiment over there on my Unsolicited Opinions podcast was that this was an example of who Black men really want to protect. And I'm telling you, I sat there and watched that stream and tried to find a reason to disagree with these ladies, and I could not. All right. Whew. Okay. My special guest. I have a special guest that I want to talk to about this. She's an excellent content creator. I call her, well, she don't know this, but I affectionately call her the Queen of Tea, the Madam of Eviction, Madam of Evictions. I hope she don't get offended by that. I'm talking about the YouTube content creator, Messy Michonne. Thank you. Go ahead. Michonne, you live. You've been live for a long time. How you doing?
Shout out to the chat. Can you hear me?
I can hear you real good. Everybody can hear you.
Hey, what's going on? Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
I do have a question for you.
Yes.
So from a woman's perspective, a Black woman's perspective, do you think Just Pearly Things expose the weakness in our so-called productive, character-driven Black men?
Lord have mercy. You ain't holding back. Whoo. Oh, Lord have mercy. If you're speaking specifically about I'm gonna just say Black YouTube. I'm gonna just say Black YouTube, not necessarily the Manosphere. What's been exposed, because I can't really say if it's her or if it's Jason Black, is that the Black community as a whole, doesn't matter if they're male or female, does not understand problem resolution. So that's what I'm seeing, because friendships are breaking up, quote unquote friendships. Everyone has their opinion, I don't even think it's about her anymore, to be perfectly honest with you. What can one really make that woman do if she is or is not racist? Nothing. So you either rock with her or you don't. So it looks like there's a split where people are rocking with her, and then there's others that don't. Why do we have to throw stones is the first question.
That's the question.
That's the first question.
Uh-huh.
So why do you have to throw stones? And then you answer back, and then it's just going back and forth, back and forth. Where's the conversation? All these talks thus far that I've heard is conversation. We got to talk. We got to figure it out. You don't understand the man. You don't understand the woman. Now everybody just out here not listening and doubling down and tripling down. And it just seems, I'm like, I don't even know if this is ever going to end. That's how I look at it.
I don't know. Well, it's gonna end because time has a way of washing away a lot of things. But the issue that I had was one, how the spinning of the narrative to make this about it being racist. Like, they just I don't think that really came out directly that that was the original intent of it, to say that she was a racist. I think that was the spin that came out of it. And then the other side of it was and shout out to MTR, but when he came out right away, and he came out firm and strong. And I watched MTR live. I was watching him live when he was learning about it for the first time. And to see his whole understanding of Pearl break in real time, that was pretty hard to watch. Because he didn't believe it. It can't be true. And then it kept coming in. People started sending him stuff, and he just couldn't. His whole stream went that way, and then he had to get off, gather his information. He had a conversation with Pearl, and then he came back, and one of the first words he said was, "Pearl, you fucked up, and we got to hold you accountable." Here's my problem with that. The accountability crowd. You hold her accountable to what?
Right.
Here's my thinking, and I think I've said this to you and a few other people, Michonne, about my perspective on this. We're in 2023. We're no longer in the in the days of hanging black people from a tree, or you can't eat in this restaurant, that like real gritty racism that we see on like the documentaries Eyes on the Prize and stuff like that. We're not there. But please understand, from a cultural perspective, and I said this to several people, Pearl and no other white folk, I don't care how good they think they are, they are not uncomfortable with white supremacy or racism. It's their culture. It's in their family. It's in their history. It's like apple pie.
Well, when you say that, we no longer have those items that you just listed, which I don't want to say again, we might not physically showingly, I know it's not a word, that be there, but I believe mentally, plenty of us are still there.
Oh, yes. And we see most of the world through that prism.
Yes, and we weren't even there for it, most of us. Enough of us. Let me say enough of us.
No,
okay?
Of course, we still got parents and grandparents and great-grandparents who my grandfather, my grandmother, they're still around.
Right. But I'm just saying these people here, these people that we're talking about in Black YouTube only.
No, they do not. And the racism it's different. It's different. And I would call it, I hope I don't get, there's acceptable racism, meaning, you know what I mean? As long as it's quiet and not in your face and not hindering you, why do you care? And then why do you care when you see two white people on there making ignorant comments about slavery? They don't know. That's what they do.
But I've said this before as well. Me personally, I don't know every bit of history. And I'm not interested in knowing every bit of history. But if there's something I need to know, I will find out. I'll take a look. I'll open a book, go to Google, figure it out and find out. And some people just expect white people, shout out to any white people that might be here, they expect white people to know Black history. And it's like, why would they want to know unless they have to know? This expectation that white people care about Black history and all those things, y'all need to stop. You hurting yourselves with that. They do not care. They know what they know. They know about their culture. We need to know about ours. And for you to be for anyone, like she shouldn't have said, in my opinion, my two problems with her was my Africans and the part about slavery being embellished. It's like, yo, I'm gonna need you to fall back because you don't know what you're talking about. Unacceptable. I sent her an email. I recorded what I didn't like. I sent it to her and I said, what's up? I ain't never heard back from her. But I feel like she tried to address it in her fake apology. Fine. What else can I do? I don't give a damn about her.
No, not at all. And she don't give. And let me tell you something. While all of this stuff is burning down around her, like Left Eye with Andre Rison's house, she's just sitting there like, oh, well. And guess what she's doing? She's cashing checks over this.
Her sub count is growing.
Yes, her sub count is growing.
But her viewership is not that great. Just from a YouTube perspective, her views are not that great for a person that has 1.39.
Yeah. I mean, but if she's about to pivot, I mean, that was a hell of an announcement of her pivot. That was bold in your face. And here's the thing. I know we're talking about this with her right now, Miss Michonne. My problem ain't nothing with Hannah. I do not have an expectation. I do not have my current supervisor is probably one of the sweetest men I've ever come across. He's a white man.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't gonna never forget how sweet this man is, that I ain't gonna never forget that he's a white man.
I was gonna say, I've said that, and I'm not sure if you ever heard me. Like, I work for a Fortune 500 company. I'm pretty sure all them CEOs got something or other to say. You think I'm not gonna keep working? You think I'm gonna quit? You think I'm gonna let it go? Now, if I hear something, I'm gonna call it out, of course, for anybody. But why would I give up my livelihood? I'm not doing that.
No, it wasn't worth the fight. It wasn't worth the fight. It wasn't what it did to our image, and it wasn't. And that sad ass apology stream that Obsidian did just was disgusting.
What when she was on there and everyone came up?
Yes. Yes.
Or everyone was supposed to come up.
Yes.
Yeah. And Yeah, I was in and out of that. I just like the beginning because I was in it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was like, I don't, I don't have to come because you said. That is the exact thing that the people who are upset is, that's it right there.
Yep.
Who the hell is she to command you come see me at this time? Girl, if you don't go to hell, no, I'm not. No, you don't control nothing. You don't pay nothing over here. And while they want to spend it, meaning Obsidian, like, and I'm fine with Obsidian because honestly, I allow people to feel how they gonna feel, right? When I've had enough, I'll say I've had enough. I'm okay with him. As what he do is what he gonna do because he need to do it for YouTube. Fine. Let people run their business how they run their business. But how he can't see that? Ain't nobody been over there in front of the 1.39 million subs. Why is that?
Mm-hmm.
Why are none of all these black people that sit up here to come into all these streams, not just even Obsidian, all these streams to talk about her, to see her, to talk about her people, or to talk to her human resources person, whatever these people are, to talk about Sarah? Why are y'all not doing it on her channel? That's where you're gonna get the exposure. You getting the same people you've already had. You're getting nothing out of this. You might be in super chats. There you go. But
you notice she's not doing it. She's not doing it on our channel.
Exactly. They don't like. Why don't y'all notice this?
Come on, Mashawn.
Because she don't want to mess up the white people. Because that's who's over there. The Black Manosphere is not the 1.3. Black YouTube is not the 1.39 over there. It is not.
Mashawn, you talking too much.
Listen, I'm sorry. I read the comment. I've been reading. I read comments. I don't know what anybody else be doing, but I read comments, mine and everybody else's. And it's all these white people. You should bring Nick back. Nick was great. It was a great interview. Oh my God, we can't wait. You shouldn't apologize. You have nothing to apologize for. I'm not trying to do that. No.
And we should never get upset when white folk talk. That's how they talk. Get concerned when they start trying to do something.
I'm paying attention. No matter how nice everybody is, I'm always on guard. I am very pessimistic. I'm not, ashamed of that. And I just be watching. More listening, less talking.
Yep. Real quick, we got a little break. We got to go ahead and recognize.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
A shout out to N. Allen. Thank you, N. Allen, for the $20 super chat. So I won N. Allen over today. Thank you for the $20 super chat. I appreciate that. This is just mind blowing over here. Here we go again, ladies of the house. Let's see, Lisa, the housewife. I appreciate you.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Okay. Hold on, Michelle, real quick. I'm gonna bring up. I got a guy in the background, Mr. Frederick Beatty. I'm gonna pull him up and see what he got to say.
What up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Hey, Frederick, how you doing? So you've been sitting here listening to this.
Hey, Miss Michelle, how are you?
Good, thank you.
So what do you think, Frederick?
So I'm gonna say this as a podcaster like you, TJ, and like Miss Michelle. For me, and I apologize for the harsh language I'm about to use, TJ. But I don't even know half these motherfuckers. So honestly speaking, for me, none of these motherfuckers even affect my bottom line. So, but I do agree that what these dudes is doing is a class A dumbassness for real. Because now y'all want to beef with each other over some BS, and whatever friendships y'all had, if they were actually friendships to begin with, ain't friendships now. Till now y'all telling each other to pull up on each other. Man, that shit is childish.
That was crazy for me to sit back and watch these men like create these whole streams, and in the description or the title, whatever it was, such and such. Pull up at 3:00 on Tuesday. You got something. I'm like,
someone did that?
Yeah.
Jason Black did it.
Oh, did he?
He did it over the lead attorney here. Yes.
Oh, okay.
To
Yes.
me, to me,
Yes.
that shit is
He did
childish,
it
bro.
over everybody that he wanted to talk to that he thought was defending Pearl. He made a live stream talking about you pull up over here. That.
Well, all of these people are doing that. Come over here to talk to me. You need to come over here. You need to come over here. And I'm like, but all these people know each other behind the scenes. Why aren't y'all doing the same thing as what we tell the celebrities not to do? You putting all your business out here. How come they can't call each other, you know?
Well, see, and then part of it too is about the super chats, the likes,
of course.
You know what that's all about. Come on now. But
you
and that's
gangsters.
and like I was talking about authenticity. Did Pearl expose the fact that the Black Manosphere has an issue with authenticity? Because if you call yourself a man with character and all this and you strict accountability, why in the world do you need to even do something like that when you have access to people behind the scenes? Like, I respect what MTR did. He called Just Pearly Things, had a conversation, made his one statement, and he moved on with his life. The brother is in the tropics somewhere in swimming pools and eating tropical fruits and enjoying his life right now.
As so many people should be, but there's people mad at him for doing that. And I'm like, what more is that man supposed to do?
But for what though?
Mad at him
for what though?
I'm assuming. I'm sorry.
I was telling Mr. Elemental to go ahead and cam up. There's somebody in the back. We're telling him to cam up.
Oh, I was saying that they feel as though he didn't do enough. And I'm like, I don't know what more you all think that this man is supposed to do. Is he supposed to go back to England and burn the studio down? Like
I mean, he said, I'm no longer working with you. He made the request that whatever content that was made with him over there, that she don't release it. She agreed to it.
Okay, there you go. That's it.
That's it.
That's the end of it. My beef is the beef because it's embarrassing, and the reason why it's the beef because Michonne, there are still guys over here like me that are still trying to have conversations with our Black women about. I got this thing called the New Deal, making a new deal with one another. How the hell can I make a new deal when our women are seeing tens of thousands of men behaving this way, and they're going, why would I want to talk to y'all when y'all can't even get on one accord about something that should be obvious?
Childish. Just childish.
Hold on a second. Mr. Elemental, how you doing? Go ahead and unmute.
Hey, good evening, folks. Peace and blessings.
So what do you think about these brothers out here fighting and tearing up the YouTube streets over Hannah? That's her behind me.
I think it's a classic case of assimilation, right? What else could you call it, right? If once we start defending the oppressor, that's how we get into the gated communities, right? Is it not the master race's plan to either have us assimilate to where they are or stay where they placed us? So really what it seems like to me is just another iteration of the master race's master plan taking or manifesting in a digital age, right? So now, and I'll just say it a different way, the new blackface and blackface, if you will, right? So now we're seeing it just manifest in a different way, but still with the same message. I said in a poem, it's same crack, just a different whip.
Can I just
is any different?
Can I just say that I don't think it was in Pearl's plan to do any of that. So the real problem, in my opinion, are the Black people.
That's where I'm at because we did this, and where's the credibility level now? Where's the credibility level now? Out here, one of the things that the late great Kevin Samuels used to talk about all the time was our inability to work together.
Right.
We don't have to.
All worst enemy.
We do not have to be on one accord. Look, we know Fortune 5, we know businesses, major businesses, and we hear after the fact when these founders of these corporations that they hated each other, but they worked together to build legacy, to build fortunes, to build generational wealth, to build a legacy. And black men's issues with one another don't even run that deep. But we can't. Well, we got because we like this lady because she got our 1.5 million subs, or she appears to be. Now, this is what I really want to say.
What does she appear to be?
She appears to be this soft, friendly, feminine, submissive woman. The thing. Let me tell you something. The thing that black men are over here thirsting for. They're over here thirsting for that. She's presenting that to them, and they're going, well, and they're just running behind her like she's the Pied Piper of femininity, and she's not.
She's not presenting that though.
Well, she's not now, but I'm just telling you.
She wasn't presenting it before. Based off of the talking points, she's not married. She's a modern woman building a business. She's not allegedly, she's not engaged. She's approaching the wall or the whatever the next stage is, y'all. I don't know. I don't remember no more. And she's doing a wife school. Girl, you ain't even a wife. What are we talking about right now? She's opening more businesses. She's about to pivot to the Daily Mail, I believe that it is. Allegedly, that's what it's looking like. She is the epitome of a modern woman. The epitome, while talking red pill, what women should do. That's in front of everybody's face. I don't know why people don't hate it.
This was also an attempt to clean up her white image, because you know Pearl has a graveyard littered with black dick.
Allegedly.
No,
So,
I didn't see her.
Would this be then her complete separation from a traditional woman's role? If now she's just this modern women's role, right? That she can say, oh, this is where we are. Y'all need to basically fall in line with the modern woman, right? But you say you want a traditional man, right? In a sense of having the values and morals of the relationship that you're seeking, but you're now more of a modern state of mind, but you want someone still soaked in traditional thinking.
Yeah, I think Michonne's point is that she's never been traditional, that she's always been a modern woman. It's just she's just been able to serve it up to
only
people.
because of talking points, because she's just turned on talking points. So this is all business, which is what these let me not say these, a lot of gentlemen claim that that's not what they want. She's just maybe not OnlyFans modern woman, but she a modern woman. The one that they claim that they don't want. So why is all this defending of the modern woman? But now to add another layer to it, you got to take down black women in order to make it even worse. To make it worse, in my opinion. I'm not offended because I could care less, but I know that they're doing it to quote unquote people who they've been friends with and just tossing it out there. And it's like, and I'm gonna throw myself in there. We ain't got nothing to do with that. We ain't got nothing to do with her. Don't blame nobody.
Nothing at all. Hold on. I got a lady in the back. I'm gonna drop you down, Mr. Elemental. Let me bring up Miss Philly.
What's
Hello,
up,
Miss Philly?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good. So what is your thoughts?
My first thought is just by like her presentation, the way she presents herself, she's one of those white females. She's one of those that likes the black penis. I picked that up. And she knows how to work that black narrative enough to get what she's aiming for. That's what I see. Like, I don't see it being genuine. I see that she know how to work that thing good enough to bait you in and, yeah, release their hood. Yeah.
There's a video of her ex-boyfriend asking her to marry him, and she said no.
On live, man, that was brutal.
Yeah. That's not the traditional woman that she speaks about.
Yeah.
Yeah, she know how to work it good enough.
Even the thing where you were saying,
She's
TJ,
after something.
Yeah.
And it's not genuine.
It's not genuine. Yeah.
It's not genuine at all.
All right, Frederick and Philly, I'm going to put you guys back down. And then No, I'm going to wrap this end of it because I got to get to my other guest. But this, in my opinion, just exposed that whatever things were supposed to be with quote unquote the Black Manosphere or Black YouTube or however you want, it's just exposed that there's been no growth in the ideology of Black men. And the other thing that it exposed is that we're so desperate for something other than what our women are presenting to us that we're willing to line up behind what they call in the Bible, a false prophet. To do that. And it's disgusting. And it's not like this was like, I don't think this was her intention.
It wasn't.
That it just kind of happened this way.
Right.
But for the guys to go to this lengths to flat out fight with each other, break down into these camps, spin a narrative that wasn't necessarily the thing. They try to make it about what it speaks to the worst of us, because when there are race things that happen, we need the masses to be able to pay attention to it, not false race stuff.
Real racism, exactly.
This wasn't racism. This was ignorance on full display. That's all it was. When she sat up there talking about, slavery was exaggerated, that's not the first time I heard that out of a white person. They don't know any better. And God knows that crappy movie, The Woman King, didn't help the narrative at all either.
I ain't even see it. See, so you can't even go by that.
I ain't got to see it because I ain't seen it either. But this whole narrative, they talking about their own people sold them into slavery. Yeah, they did, but that had nothing to do with what went on over here.
Right.
But always the justification of it. Mr. Michon, I'm gonna wrap this part of it up because I got to get to my other guests.
Okay.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So the Black Manosphere, man. It's just embarrassing. I don't have any other words other than the fact that this is embarrassing and it's shameful. And here's the thing. I like disagreeing with the relationship talking points for our women, but damn it, it's hard to do that now.
Yep, I hear you.
Very, very hard to do that when tens of thousands. It's not like this was a few hundred men that did this. We're not talking about just the platform people. We're talking about even the people in the chat and the super chats and coming up on the screen and having these conversations. And this was a bridge too far for me.
I hear you. I understand. I agree. I don't disagree.
Yep. All right, Ms. Michon, I appreciate you for coming on.
All right.
I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king and I will never knew. Plotting for my phone, you getting hands for